Hi friend, welcome into this reading. I'm Molly, the QuantumLeapQueen. Thanks for joining me on this reading. These readings are a timeless resource for you to come utilize whenever you need some extra nourishment in your life. So trust that if you found this video today, there is a message here for you. I'm setting the intention as always to give you the best messages that you need to hear today. And I'm starting with the tarot. I'm starting with the Rainbow Tarot today. And let's take a look. What are we talking about with you today? The Knight of Swords. Okay. What else? I have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Yeah. With the Knight of Swords and the way that these are coming about, I'm just seeing that this definitely could be a relationship that left you very confused. I had the Knight of Swords. This is the way it's facing. The Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. So with this combo, what I get is that you were in a relationship with someone that was really hot and cold. I get that deeply with the Knight of Swords energy. This person is like quick to say things, but then really quick to just not follow up with it as well, and to just be impulsive. And this could be any sort of relationship in your life, but whoever you're thinking about right now is likely them. And yeah, just not very careful with you or your energy. Just very impulsive and selfish is what I get. With the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands, this relationship in general brought you a lot of anxiety and chaos, and you felt like you always had to like fight for your spot or fight for your worth. There's something about that, just like needing to like prove your worth to this person. It just was exhausting, to be honest, and brought you so much anxiety trying to like figure out like what's wrong with you. I think this person shifts the blame or scapegoats a lot and doesn't like look at themselves honestly. Like I'm looking at this horse and the eyes are a little wonky, and that's how I feel like this person is like purposely ignoring the truth in order to benefit their own egoic story of what's happening. And that's what left you so confused, is because like you really held this person in high regard, and you want to be honest with yourself and be honest with them. And so you're really looking at yourself like, well, what's wrong with me that this isn't working out, that this person isn't choosing me, isn't loving me the way that they say that they do. And it was very confusing for a long time, but I can tell you that it wasn't you. Not that you're, a perfect human being. You're your own person with your own problems. But this person, the difference between you is like you address your problems and work with them with honesty and integrity, and this person, I'm getting like suppresses them, does not actually address the inner world and the inner demons and their own inner traumas. They don't work on themselves the way that you work on yourself. So that makes a huge difference in relationships, because we can only meet people as deeply as we've met ourselves. And so I feel like there's this energy here of like you lost yourself in this relationship because you were so concerned with like how this person perceives you. And this person wanted to fracture you in order to be accepted, whether that's consciously or unconsciously, I don't know. But it's definitely rooted in control, which is like, anyone that's trying to control anything, you're coming back to a place of insecurity because you don't feel and control yourself. So you try to control things outside of you. So that is what that person, there's so much I could say about this person, but essentially that is kind of the root of why you were feeling insecure, is because they said you weren't enough as you are. You need to be different. You need to fracture yourself in order to be accepted, in order to be loved. And so that's what you did, I think, for some time. But I think perhaps I'll get some more cards here, but I think you're moving beyond that now or starting to see clearer. But at the time, it was very blurry and obviously very, very excruciating. The anxiety, the worry, the thoughts, the like trying to figure things out, it was just exhausting. So let's find out more. What else can I tell my friend? I have the Empress and the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, wow, the extremes here. So the Empress and the Five of Pentacles, I mean, very extreme cards. And I think that's what you went from. You went from feeling like so left out in the cold, so abandoned, into what you're stepping into is like your ultimate divine feminine self. Or at least the feminine energy within you is so much stronger than it was. And we all have feminine energy, we all have masculine energy, and the balance of the two is really crucial within each of us. And you weren't in your Empress energy in this relationship. You were self-abandoning. Your boundaries were kind of blurry. You didn't feel worthy. You felt like you had to prove your worth. Those things are like anti-Empress. The Empress stands on business. She knows who she is. She doesn't need to prove herself. She's light. She's very light with her energy, how she treats herself, and how she treats others. But it's also very, you have to come with respect to the altar. That's something that you are stepping into the embodiment of, because we teach people how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. So you are coming and treating yourself with much more respect than in the past. And people can feel that, so they're going to also treat you with more respect as you lead the way. You show them the way. So that's how I feel like there's such a contrast here, but it's almost like I picture it as like a slingshot. Like you lost control of yourself, you lost confidence in yourself going through this relationship. It's springing you back, but then once you let go of this relationship and the need to prove and just you took that person off the pedestal, then the slingshot got released and you were able to go that much more into your preferred vibration, into who you always knew you were underneath it. It's like you're getting rid of the excess conditioning, the excess traumas, and you're stepping more into forgiveness, integrity, love, respect. Those are all things of the Empress. And I want to say too, just take your time in this period, because it's not meant to be rushed. The Empress for sure does not rush. She is on her own timeline, knowing that everything is perfect and that everything truly is in divine timing. That she herself is divinity. How could she lose anything? It's all here right now. So I just see you really reclaiming your power after such a dark night of the soul. So that needs to be just acknowledged for who you are and the energy you sit in now. I'm going to ask for one more message from the tarot before we move on to some oracle messages. I have the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. Nice. This is definitely a message of that person is always going to keep doing the same shenanigans. I have, the Seven of Wands, at least from where their energy is at now, they still play the mind games and they still do the deception work because, again, they're not addressing their own work. So they are, playing games, and the games of deception and perception and whatever, that's their journey. Just to say, that's the game they play. They literally don't move. They kind of stay stuck and they don't up level. So that's their choice. They're choosing to do that. That's their life. But your life is different. I have the Nine of Pentacles. You've really been focusing now on watering your own garden. Also, we have 3 of the 9s out, by the way. So, and we're just ending a 9 year as I'm recording this. So this really is a chapter completion. And I really think with the Nine of Pentacles, this is so much about you're too focused on your own garden to even notice how other people are doing, truly. So I think that is a beautiful thing. I think that's where your focus should remain. That's where you're the most magical, the most magnetic, is when you're just focused on yourself. And yeah, not focusing on like, is my neighbor's grass greener or is mine greener? Like, you just are just focused on self. And I think that's going to get you really far in life when you just stay in your own lane, mind your own business. Like, that is truly a recipe for success for you. I think you're already doing that, and it's just an acknowledgement of that, and just a reminder to say, keep going. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to pull from some oracle messages. I'm going to start with the Rainbow Brain Skull deck. Best message for this group. Not enough. The everyone story. Let's read about it. This is number 35. Of course you think that you need more. When has anything ever been enough? You're not missing anything. You're just evolutionarily wired to focus on lack. Luckily, so is everyone else. So have a laugh about it. Nice. I like that. Bringing us back to reality. Yeah, isn't that the story? Like, truly, like, definitely even myself, sometimes all the work I've done, I still get into these moods or modes of like, I'm not doing enough, or I need to do more. And it's rooted in this thing of, yeah, just not feeling enough as you are, or needing to prove yourself or get validated by something outside you. And I guess we just laugh about it. Like, what else is there to do? It's just silly. It's silly little thoughts of being a human. And at the end of the day, though, I think you can like perceive it as a beneficial thing, because it's like you care about life, like, I feel like if you're this far into a tarot video, like, you're wanting to like make a difference in the world. Like, you have a big heart. You really care. So I think that's just something to acknowledge yourself about. And then when you have those thoughts, to not take them so seriously, to laugh, go on a walk, like, do something to move the energy if it's really plaguing you. But just to be light about it too. And to remember that everyone feels it, truly everyone, no matter what stage of life you're at, unless you're, I don't know, like, I'm thinking of like a guru or a monk, maybe they don't have these things, but the rest of us in regular society, I think we have these thoughts. I really think everyone has these, unless you're like a narcissist and you don't go into any emotions. That's a different story. But for you, I hope that's a good reminder. Okay, so let's pull from, this is the Mystic Mondays Astro Alignment deck, I believe is what it's called. These are fun circle cards. So let's get a message astrologically for you. Oh, okay. We have retrograde, nice, reversal, declaration, and distance. So yeah, so retrogrades are really fascinating, because when we witness retrogrades in the sky, the planets retrograding, it literally looks like they move back and then they move forward. And nearly all the planets do this. And when they're in their retrograde periods, it's a time for reflection, review. It's all the words, like looking back and revamping things. And but they're not actually moving backwards. The planets don't actually move backwards. It's just our perception from Earth that they move backwards. And yeah, so I think that's like, it's so funny, like, as above, so below, because I feel like that's how we are in our lives. We're not actually moving backwards. Things are moving as they are, but sometimes it feels like we have to like take a few steps back to then move forward. Or whenever we have these periods where it's such a heavy review stage and you're not really like moving forward, you're healing in a way. it can feel just like, am I done yet? Like, am I failing? Like, all those thoughts come in, but they're so necessary and they're so much a part of nature. And it's all about perspective. All about perspective. We're choosing the meaning of how we see things. And so I love that this card came out for you. Retrogrades are really interesting things to pay attention to, and they always like up level you. They always bring you more nourishment. So it could feel like you've went into a retrograde or are maybe currently still in one. And just to be very gentle with yourself, and to also know it's part of nature. You're exactly where you need to be. There is no rush. You're gaining all of the wisdom in the retrograde periods. It's like double checking, triple checking, getting rid of the old, making space for the new. That's the retrograde. Okay, so next. Let's pull from the Animal Oracle next. What's the best message for my friend from this deck? Oh, nice. We have Face Your Fear with the raven, or it could be a crow. 38. The crow. Face your fear. In the forest, crow will often warn other animals of oncoming hunters. Crow comes when a fear or uncomfortable situation must be faced and transformed. It is through facing the fear that the animals in the forest are able to escape and survive. Crow isn't just cawing at you to face your fears, he's asking you to do something with the energy that comes from those fears. Crow is the master alchemist. Alchemy was a practice of transmutation, turning base metals such as lead into more valuable metal like gold. Many alchemists were interested in this science on a psychological level. We can apply the principle of alchemy to our psychological development. Think about the power your pain holds. What if you could take the energy of all your trauma, fear, worry, and doubts and turn it into your greatest asset? Crow says you can turn the energy of pain into your shining light. The key is the consistent effort to manipulate your emotions to your liking. For example, let's say you are dealing with a trigger that is bringing up fear. First, accept what you feel, and then choose to transmute the energy. If you are fearful of something and avoiding it, face it and deal with it. If you are lost in a trauma bubble, choose to shift your psychology by movement and exercise. If you are procrastinating to clean. If you are avoiding telling someone your true feelings, tell them. If you feel unhealthy and unattractive, change how you eat and adorn your body with clothes that honor your appearance. If you are overwhelmed with feeling like a victim, create an art project that demonstrates your power. The idea isn't to escape what you are dealing with, but instead face it and then change how you are dealing with it. This is where the shift begins. Crow's medicine is to transmute energy, is also your birthright. Crow's medicine to transmute energy is also your birthright. Take action and transmute your energy. I think that's really powerful, and I think it's definitely one of the hardest things is actually facing your pain and actually transmuting it. But there are so many tools that you can use to do that. And also the power truly lies in your pain. I do think for most of you in this group, you are still healing from this relationship and how much of an impact it actually had on you. But as you're healing, you're regaining your power at a whole new level. And you're healing, and that other person isn't even acknowledging that there's healing to be done. So I think in the long run, you excel this person or you move beyond them because you were so invested in yourself, in the transmutation of yourself, and not playing victim and stepping into creator, manifester. Like, there's no way you won't be excelling. But this is such a great reminder because it's so difficult to heal. It can be, but there's so many great tools, and healing is like, it's like a layered thing. It's like an onion. Like, truly, it's a layered. But every time you choose to go into the fear and address it, you're alchemizing. And that means you're turning pain into power every single time. So every time you do like a little, I don't know if it's like a journal session, or you scream in your car is a good one, scream underwater, like doing things to like move the energy to get it out of you, you're alchemizing. That makes you the alchemist. And that is where your power truly lies. You say, I'm not going to let this fear control me. I'm going to address this fear. I'm going to give it the nourishment it needs. And often it just needs to be seen and held and witnessed, like all of us. That's all love is. That's all God is. So that's your secret sauce. So I think you're already doing that, but I think for some reason I'm getting the energy of a lot of you are in the midst of it. Like, I'm just feeling a lot of heartbreak. And that's how you start to transform that heartbreak, and not only transform it, but literally like changing it into something new, like crazy. That's crazy creator, powerful, magical creator energy. So I think you're catching my drift on that. Let's pull lastly from the I Create My Reality deck. What is the last message for my friends? Okay, we have two of them. Emotions are motions. Just talking about emotions. This is number 22. Emotion, energy in motion, everything in motion. Emotion means to move. Emotions means feelings in motion. Feelings are just energy in motion. All feelings are temporary. Take a moment to honor your emotions. Allow yourself to experience the emotion without judgment. Just let it be. If you let yourself feel it and learn from it, it will then pass. Truly. It just wants to be seen, felt, witnessed. It's there to be addressed by you. So give it the stage it needs in a healthy way. And then this next one, I design my life. That's totally what you're stepping into. I am the architect of my life. I build its foundations and choose its contents. Designing your life is like building a house. From the very beginning, envision the end result and take action towards your vision. Draw the plans, measure the dimensions, create the spaces, and open the doors to your creativity and the endless opportunities. Build your dream, design your life, and all the pieces will eventually come together. It's a beautiful thing to put your energy into creation as you heal. It doesn't have to be anything like even that you share with people. Like, it can just obviously be any art project. If you like to paint or draw, or like just do something that helps nourish you. That will help you to transmute the energy. And of course, if you want to even make videos, maybe you're also into tarot, whatever it is, like truly just share, create, share. And you don't even necessarily have to share, but definitely create, heal, and make art. Be in the pain, heal, make art, Those are kind of the energies that are swirling you right now that will help to transmute this and help you in this chapter of regaining your power and coming back to yourself. So that concludes this mystery reading. I hope it brought you nourishment. Come on back whenever you need more nourishment in your life. My whole channel is just a library of timeless readings. Just pick one based on your intuition. It knows the way. So we'll see you guys in the next reading. Bye.